Hi there, it's Brighid here, and this month we're going to be talking about sacred spaces. I know that we've already talked about the space that you create in your home as a sacred space to honor spirit and connect with spirit. And we'll continue to talk about that as you continue to spend time in that space and learn how to nurture your relationship with spirit there. Something that is equally important is that we bring attention to the space that's inside of us, the space that we create with our intention, our heart, and our being. Because the sacred space that we create inside of us is just as important as the sacred space that we create in our homes. When you have that space inside of you, you can connect with spirit more easily. You can connect with the earth more easily, and you really can come back into your center faster than if you didn't create that space inside of you. So how do we do that? How do we create that space inside of us? Well, it's a part of managing our own power and managing our energy. And we do it with intention. We do it with our hearts, and we do it with the understanding that we are our own center of power. We are our own center of power, connected to spirit and source, and allowing source to move through us, which makes us a conduit. But we have to claim that we are our own source of power so that we can really tap into that power and open up that space inside of us whenever we want to or whenever we need to. When your space, your sacred space, is defined inside of you, you can remind yourself of that space, tap into that energy anytime, in the morning, at work, when you're in your car, when you're frustrated, when you're wanting guidance from spirit, when your energy's too high and you need to bring it down. There are a lot of times in our lives when tapping into becoming really aware of our sacred space is helpful. And once we know how to do that, we can do that freely, and we don't have to wait for the right moment. We don't have to wait to go sit at our sacred space. We don't have to wait for all the perfect conditions, because we've created the perfect conditions inside of us. And when we practice that, it becomes standard and something that is ready for us at any point in time. So how do we create the sacred space inside of us? First step is realizing you are your own center of power. And what does that feel like? What does that look like when you are your own center of power? For me, when I think center of power, I see myself sitting or standing straight, and I get this solid feeling inside of me. It's very focused, it's very clear, and it's very strong. Now, if I want to do that intentionally, if I want to work myself through a few steps to get there, because I didn't always feel this centered and this empowered. I didn't always consider this to be a container for my sacred space. What I do is I breathe and I open any places inside my body that feel tight. And right now, if you scan your body from head down to toes, you probably may find a place inside of you that's tight. Take a breath and open any of the places that are tight. I tend to hold energy, and sometimes will have clenching in my belly. So when I do that, I open the belly. I'm sure you will find the place inside of you as you do that. So breathing and opening, softening any spaces that are tight. That's the first step. And then the next piece is creating that sense of groundedness, putting your roots in the earth, imagining you are in one of the most peaceful places you've ever been. Maybe it's by a waterfall, maybe it's out in the woods. Bringing up that memory of being grounded and connected. Creating a memory or creating a visual with your intention of being grounded and connected. So breathing, imagine that you're sitting by a tree with deep roots, imagining that you are a tree with deep roots, or imagining that you have a cord that goes from your belly, your navel, down through your legs into the earth. Those are just a few examples of how to connect in with the earth and ground yourself with your intention. The next piece after grounding is coming into your center. First, you want to find your center. Where is your center? Do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your belly? Do you feel it in your navel? Where do you feel your center? Different spiritual traditions will share that the center is in the heart or in the belly. You decide where your center is, and as soon as you do, breathe into it. Bring in the air to that center and blow the air out. Exhale through your center. So now you've found your center. You have your roots in the ground. You've come into your center. And I want you to imagine that you are tidying up the energy in your center, that you are shoring it up, bringing it to attention. Okay. You can do that by imagining that there is a light or a flame in your belly. When you imagine there's a light or a flame in your belly, that light is strong. It'll strengthen you. Allow that light to come up through your center. You can imagine that it's winding around your spine. Bring it up through the top of your head and imagine that it goes down beneath your feet. That is a way to shore up your center. It's also a way to strengthen your energy from the inside out. When we strengthen our energy from the inside out, we create a sacred and a sovereign place inside of us. And so allowing that light that you've grown all the way up and all the way down to expand out. You may see it as a single flame. You may see it as a fire. You may see it as a pillar of light. Whatever naturally starts to come to you when you expand the light in your center is perfect. You can expand that out through your body, side to side and front and back. So expand that out through your body out into your energy field. That puts you in a place of solidness. It puts you in your own power, and it takes the power that's inside of you and expands it out. That is a big part of creating a sacred space inside of you. So we've put the roots into the earth and grounded. We've come into our center. We've expanded and strengthened that light inside of us. The last piece is to create a filter around yourself. Not a wall, not a shield of armor, but a filter that allows what you want to come into you, and what you don't want just moves on through. So imagine that there's something web-like or porous that you have wrapped around you. You're grounded, you're centered, that light, that strength has expanded, and you wrap around that webbing something porous that invites what is right and good for you to come in, and what isn't just moves through. There's no resistance. We don't need to create resistance to the things that we don't want. We just want to give them a way to move through. And so those pieces all put together help to create a sacred space inside of us. When you are in command of your personal space, of your energy, You are in a sacred space. You are the sacred space. It is inside of you, and you are sure and solid. From that place, when you communicate with Spirit, you can receive what Spirit is offering. From that place, you can more readily understand what Spirit is sharing with you. And this is something that you can do all the time. There's no right or wrong time to do it. You can do it in the morning before you get out of bed, start your day off really solid. You can do it before you go to sleep to enter the dream world in a solid place. You can do this before you get on a phone with somebody who is going to stress you out. You can do this before you enter a meeting. You can do this before you meditate. As a shamanic practitioner, I, along with all of my students and participants, we always do this practice before we go into shamanic journey work. So play with this, practice it, understand that it keeps you solid, contained, and in a sacred way for connecting with Spirit. Okay, sacred space inside of you. You'll find a link below for a meditation that will walk you through this exact sacred space for yourself. You can use it at any time, and there's not a lot of other talking. It's just a meditation. Okay, please let me know what you think, and save your questions for our Q&A, which will be happening on the 15th of this month. Okay, bye for now.